Hi Leo, I hope you're doing amazing. Welcome to your 2023 yearly tarot reading. I do want to remind you that this is general, so just take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But I more than thank you for your beautiful, strong Leo presence. And I want to thank you in advance for hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel if you haven't joined this Leo tribe already, and leaving me a comment, if not several, down below. But we're going to begin and pull an overall oracle for your year and from the Sacred Forest Oracle deck, and then we're going to use the Mystic Mondays Tarot to break down each month. And I think we might pull a clarifier for each of those tarot cards, but let's do some shuffling and see what we get for you to begin. I am a Leo Sun if you're new to the channel. I know I mention that a lot in these readings, but I feel it's quite important to mention if you're new. For Leo for 2023. 2023 sounds so weird. New year, new you is what I'm hearing. A level of protection taking place. I sense that it's a year where you're really feeling connected to nature, to who you're becoming in this lifetime. And I sense that people have seen you changing a lot in 2022, at the very least in the second half of which. But it's a year where as you move forward, you're seeing oneself changing and growing so much due to past adjustments, changes in your life and your external reality, your choices leading to more developments on a soul level, and you seeing one's desires and choices changing through it all. Okay, so it's a powerful year of continued change and development. Okay, and so don't be surprised when you find oneself seeing your business that you've been running, that you're continuing into the year of 2023, or the job that you choose to continue, or the ones you choose to take on, or the one you choose to take on. However it works for you, even connections, you start to see those situations, or one in particular, changing in form or in how it's run or develops due to how much you're changing on a core level. Okay, that's a beautiful thing. But there's a need for flexibility in the year, throughout the year, due to, I feel like a lot changing once again. Okay, switch ups. Feeling a bit sporadic in certain ways. All right, let's pull for the specific months to break it down. For Leo for January. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles, a slow moving kind of month. Beginning the year in a very stress-free manner is what I'm getting, even if you do have a lot on your plate. But I feel as if the month of January reminds you where your control lies, the fact that you have the ball in your court. I feel like there's a focus on love in January. Some of which drawn to this reading, there was a significant commitment made in the month of December, if not January. But I also feel like you have certain decisions to make in the upcoming months throughout the year in general, and so therefore we're reminding you the ball is in your Leo court. But we have the Eight of Pentacles for February. We're going to pull 6, as you can see. We're not going to be able to fit all 12 months on the board, and then we'll clear it away and see what else we get. Let's make sure these fit so you can see them. What else do we have? Okay, bear with me, flying onto the ground. Okay, 7 of Swords. Your creative nature will shine is what I'm hearing, your creative nature. And I do feel as if there's a very bold way about you, looking your best. I sense that efforts in the previous months to this year, even going into the year of 2023, is leaving you looking physically attractive, attracting more and more options in the category of love and romance and dating, sexual matters, even when it comes to work opportunities, because you've been taking care of yourself and continue to do so. Own it, Leo, is what I'm hearing. Own it. Whatever you feel, right? Whatever you intuitively know, you need to be true to that, okay? It's not a year to second guess your intuition, as I feel it's growing strongly by the day, okay, as the months trickle on. Interesting. Okay, so this is what we have, and now we're going to pull from the Small Everyday Tarot to further clarify each one. But yeah, so we're beginning once again the year with the Knight of Pentacles. I do sense that this is a month where you feel comforted by your alone time, feeling drawn back into it if you've stepped out of it to an extent to finish up the year of 2022. And I do feel like people are saying a lot about you. Okay, word of mouth is taking place. There's a bit of a celebrity vibe about you due to your online business, or due to the business you're running in general, or due to the work choices you've made, or just how much you're succeeding. Okay, and I feel like even once again when it comes to your looks, but it's this feeling where you're moving around quite slowly. You're accomplishing a lot, but I just feel like you're not feeling rushed. Okay, people can try to rush you. The feeling in the air can be a bit rushed, but there's also a vibe where a recent big change you made for oneself has left you moving at more of a comfortable pace for oneself. I do sense there is some healing to do in January in regards to all you've been through. Okay, with the Seven of Pentacles coming out, it's as if, again, you're watering your business, you're watering the work for your job, doing what you got to do when you got to do it, plus some, but not rushing. It's this feeling where that flexibility is coming into play wholeheartedly, where you're saying, if noise factors get in the way, if people's energy is altering the quality of my work to the point where I have to delay it or just step around it to, accomplish this at a different time, then so be it. I'm not rushing, because I feel as if you've evidently seen the fact that rushing through something, or just trying to force it through those distractions, that energy, those noise factors, whatever the case may be for you, it leaves you with worse quality. But it's this feeling where you're moving slowly, you're accomplishing at a comfortable pace, but you're a bit of a quick speaker. You can hear that in my voice. Conveying the truth is what I'm also getting. It's a month where you're also gaining clarity, and you may be thinking about new starts for oneself, brainstorming, goal setting, even just being creative in regards to a very creative beginning to the year, being creative in regards to how to further oneself with your career, to make more money and to see oneself just more successful and rapidly achieve certain goals. Okay, but what goals do you want to set in place? That's what I'm also getting. Let's pull for the Eight of Pentacles for February. Six of Cups, through moments of creativity, putting in the work, okay, buckling down and doing what you got to do. And I feel like design, shapes, stuff of that nature coming into play. You're being pushed to flash back to the beginning of a business, the beginning of a job, the beginning of a specific big change in your life, whether that was a move of residence. You may find that there's just a lot of thoughts to be acquired, or just to come to be in regards to what you've been through. We're reminding you of how strong you are, but also just kind of highlighting the good and the bad choices you've made, so that you can move forward and own what's meant for you and make certain adjustments all the meanwhile. Okay, are you putting your money towards what's worthy, is what I just heard. But also with the Six of Cups, I'm getting a gratuity kind of vibe, a giving vibe, where you've been giving in a very loyal Leo sort of way. The universe is giving back in a sense of good karma. Okay, people see you as somebody who cares, and therefore I feel like a sense of gratuity coming back to help you out, to benefit you, okay, to help things grow and prosper all the meanwhile. I'm being drawn back to this. There's just a very bold and confident sort of, I'm not forcing it vibe about you throughout this year, okay, especially in the beginning stages of the year itself. And continuously, your physical appearance and even your personality, your vibe, that's taking a highlight. Again, they're saying own it, Leo. Let's move on to March. We have the Star card for March, and we've got the Death card, okay? So the month of March highlights what needs to come to an end. For some drawn to this reading, this is in regards to a situation you're dealing with currently. Or apply it to whatever area of life it works out to be for you. This ending will come to be, or you're prepared for it soon enough, in regards to something better coming in for you, or more lucrative, okay? You knew for the majority drawn to this reading that this was temporary, okay, when you jumped into it or decided to continue it. But for some, this is more in regards to a past ending, rewinding back a bit, and the Star card symbolizing a wish that you're being granted, but needing to see the room being made for oneself, okay? Or just having to see, if you were to rewind back, that room being made, right? The space to be had so that spirit can grant you that wish, right? Say it was a job that needs to be cut out or needed to so you can get a new one. Or just when it comes to a relationship or certain levels of unhealthy friendships, I want to even say. But it could also be in regards to living, okay? Say you've been dealing with a living situation that is not even close to ideal for you at this point along your path, or just the negatives are outweighing the positives. We're replacing that in the month of March, okay? Even if you probably wished it would have came to be a little bit sooner, divine timing is at play. There's a feeling that you are as well feeling a bit depleted in the month of March. So take it easy, okay? Pace yourself. Don't overdo it. Don't overly overextend oneself, okay? That's a reminder as well. What do we have for the Seven of Swords for April? Trying to make sure I'm actually getting the months in order. The Ten of Swords, okay? I feel as if the month of April, it's a very to oneself secretive kind of vibe, being aligned with what we were speaking upon with the Knight of Pentacles for January, where you know that something came to an end or multiple switch ups are taking place in your life. A very transformative year, to say the very least, where you're not sensing it's productive to update your family, your friends, you name it. I do feel like the depleted way of being does sort of trickle into April a bit, but at the same time, you have the innate ability and the protection all the meanwhile. The innate ability at this point along your path to implement certain levels of productive self-care, to know how to best heal oneself. There's a reminder in the month of April, you know yourself best, okay? Learning more about oneself all the meanwhile. A reminder that this growth is continuing, right? This changing, but this learning about oneself is a continuous process. But I also feel like you're learning more about how your future is meant to unravel, and that this is going to be very eye-opening, even for those psychic or intuitive Leos drawn to this reading, who it pertains to. You're gaining more downloads from spirit, insight, intuitive hits, I want to even say, in regards to what lies ahead, how your career is meant to unravel, or just what else you're meant to achieve, okay? And I'm getting a very powerful vibe from this, okay? As I just got a full body of goosebumps. I feel as if it is a year where at a certain point, varying from case to case, from Leo to Leo, your spirituality will take an increase. So take a deep breath when that happens, because it can feel eye-opening, life-changing, but just a bit overwhelming to a certain extent, even if you've dealt with it in this way before, okay? Let's pull for the Moon card as we move on to May. What do we have for the Moon card? Silence is a beauty is what I just heard. The Four of Swords. And so definitely speaking once again upon protection, which is an overall vibe for your year. You are seeing oneself being protected in the midst of keeping things to oneself, a continuing sort of vibe. The Moon card speaking upon potentially some emotions stemming to the surface, plopping up to the surface to remind you of what you need to heal from all the efforts you've been putting forth, all the BS you've dealt with in regards to where you live, where you work, or even rewinding back to past situations. I want to say dating. But as well, I do feel as if there's a huge highlight in the month of May in regards to the specific vibe you're giving off in a mysterious light, okay? And how that's benefiting your work, how that's helping you shine in the spotlight in certain ways. Who would have thought with the Moon card of the Four of Swords we get a shining in the spotlight sort of message? But I sense that that's very accurate. And I do feel like it's the month of May where you're being reminded, if you look here, the stars are aligning for you, Leo. The stars are aligning for you. And it just reminds you to trust the process, okay? But to embrace the mysterious way that you're coming off. Again, not needing to shout to the world what you're up to or what you're mulling over, about to change, or just going through once again. But I feel like as well in regards to your abilities, your skill sets, the spiritual increase taking place, resting vibes in the month of May. But I feel like it's a month of success, of a lot of accomplishing, okay? But doing so with ease having that sort of work smarter, not harder kind of vibe, but also just at times I feel like your maturity is shining through in the year of 2023, but especially in the month of May for some reason. And Spirit's saying you're doing a lot better this year in comparison to the past years of finding that balance. Okay, look at that, the High Priestess. This is for June. And so, beginning to wrap up the first half of this year, your spirituality takes even more of a highlight, potentially more of an increase. Spiritual occurrences taking place, your intuition taking a highlight, being strengthened in regards to the truth in people, places, situations, what lies ahead, what you've been through. It can feel a little bit overwhelming, right? The Six of Cups talking about the past, what you've been through. And so don't be surprised if Spirit reminds you of what you've been through, even pushing you to think back to the beginning of this specific year and potentially the end of 2022. You've been through a lot, okay? But again, connecting that imagery we had in the Knight of Pentacles to this here. The ball is in your court is what I heard once again. The moon taking a true connection to oneself as you begin to wrap up the month of June. But I also feel like predictive nature coming into play, okay? You could be very psychic being drawn to this reading, very intuitive at the very least, and that's taking a highlight in regards to connecting to the mysterious vibe you're giving off, but also connecting to how successful you're meant to be. I feel like your predictive slash very intuitive nature could play into the overall success you're meant to achieve, well, bear with me, in this lifetime for oneself. We're going to clear the board and pull for the second half of the year. It's a bit more extensive than I expected, but it's a good thing. Okay, let's move the small everyday tarot, bear with me, and pull for we're actually going to use the light series for the second half. What do we have for the second half of the year? Okay. The Page of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Four of Cups, the Fool card. And we'll pull right from the middle for the last two. Okay, so keep in mind that it's a much more colorful second half of the year in comparison to the first half, but both are very important in a lot of ways. You're going to be feeling more like yourself, but I feel like that's partially because the end of 2022 and the first half, or the majority of the first half of the year of 2023, is about finding oneself, right? Or rediscovering who you're meant to be, allowing for things to change and develop in a very flexible, adapting kind of way. And therefore, you come into your power. We're going to take this. But let's see here. Underneath it all, I really do feel as if there's so much happiness to be experienced. You're seeing oneself basking in your individuality, in your independence, in the spotlight, and seeing oneself thrive through it all and reaching for more fulfillment. I feel more empowered in the second half of the month for you, okay? Or for us. Why are you getting your spark back is what I'm hearing. I'm thinking it pertains going back to March, where there's a change, okay? A big switch up in order to see oneself living a healthier lifestyle and not feeling held back by energy in the air in a situation, the limitations, how something's run, you name it. Or just how somebody or multiple people perceive you potentially. But we're beginning with the Page of Cups for July, okay? This could be your birthday month if you're a Leo sun. But let's see here. Regardless, I feel like, say you're a July Leo or an August Leo, you're glowing. Look at those two images there, okay? Spirit's saying, let yourself glow, let yourself shine. You've been through it. This is your time to bask in your Leo energy, okay? The year as a whole, but I just feel like as well, you're thinking about your wishes, your dreams. You're very daydreamy in the month of July. It may be hard to stick with what doesn't feel right for you, even more so because certain past changes, that one big one we were speaking upon, is leaving you remembering that when you do what's right for you, when you just make those important changes, it improves things for the better. And I feel like it's not even just your external reality, but your overall vibe is feeling so much healthier because of it. The Seven of Cups, we're no longer letting people, places, and situations weigh you down, Leo. But in the midst of drifting to fantasy land or just your dreams, your goals, who and what you desire, Spirit's saying you have a lot of options, okay? People are going to be wearing masks in the month of July. But I feel as if that's not yours to carry, okay? And you just will be able to, again, tap into the intuition and decipher, I can't trust you, or I don't want to trust you. You're not for me. This situation isn't for me. So let's tap into that and utilize that all the meanwhile. But Spirit's also saying, put on a little bit of a mask in a fun way, right? In sort of a theater sense. Have some fun, allow for oneself to, okay, do a bit of acting, do some singing, dancing, get a release. It's just a very dreamy sort of month for you, okay, where you're getting that glow and shine back and you're being pushed to tap back into that inner child in certain ways, okay? Let's pull for the Queen of Wands for August, Judgment. And so the month of August trickles on and you see oneself being very honest with oneself, with other people. That comes into play with an online business, with an online platform in general, with people in your life, with even for some, the past popping back up, okay? But I feel you're being viewed in a very inspirational, passionate light, one who has a voice that will change the world, okay? At the very least, change other people's lives for the better, and therefore change one's individual life. Again, the stars are aligning for you. You're being reminded that the spiritual increase you've been going through, okay, or just went through rewinding back, has left you with more than one angel watching over you. But one specific one takes a highlight in the month of August. The Four of Cups, to move on to September. Bear with me. The Knight of Swords. I do need a water break real quick. This is a long reading. So the month of September takes a highlight in regards to who and what's not meant for you once again. Just because a lot of changes are taking place and things are progressing and you're thriving doesn't mean you're attracting a lot, okay? So sometimes there is that highlighting still and that reminder of who and what's not meant for you. But anyways, to proceed, through it all, it's this very, potentially a bit of a feisty vibe, right? A determined sort of sassy vibe is what I'm getting, where you might still be a little bit guarded due to all that you've been through, just being a bit strategic and cautious, but you're charging forth towards what's meant for you and charging away from who and what is not meant for you very quickly, okay? And people may see that as very sporadic or just a bit random or just too quick to make a choice, but I feel as if you're not wasting time at this point along your path because you're so strongly intuitive and just spiritually connected. So it's this fact where you can just be honest with oneself and other people and say, well, that's not meant for me, on to the next, okay? Dating will take a highlight as well in the month of September. The Page of Cups as we move on to October. And so this is a month where the leaves are falling, okay? You're going with the flow. You're seeing oneself, noticing when an offer isn't enough, whether that's for work, for dating, you name it. When it comes to a living situation potentially, but it feels more dating or work. And I really do feel as if there's this reminder that you are going with the flow and you're falling into a new experience in this month as well, where that's changing things for the better, okay? Do not expect for your life to be the same as you make your way to wrap up this year, okay? I just feel like it's a life-changing year where you're seeing oneself thrive because you're allowing for things to change, to develop, to be unlike any other year you've seen play out for oneself, okay? And so therefore at times don't be surprised when spirit winds back in your mind, heart and soul, or certain experiences, even items remind you of the past, right? I want to say specifically 2022, and you think, wow, I glorified that, okay? Or yeah, that was purposeful. That was absolutely relevant for my growth, for my path, for everything as a whole, if you think about it. But damn, that was not perfect. I glorified it, okay? And so Spirit's saying, well, through this reminding, especially in the month of October, let's keep those rose-tinted glasses, at bay, okay? We're not taking them out. We're not dusting them off. We're going to keep our eyes on the prize, okay? Our third eye open, and keep things realistic and intuitive all the meanwhile, okay? You know better at this point. But it's a very happy part of the month where I do feel like, look at this, there's just a sense of peace about you, at peace with who and what you've left behind, with what needs to still go. It's like not holding on to, allowing for oneself to have that strong, heavy attachment to people, places, and situations, to the point where Spirit's saying you're making our job a lot easier, right? To see one's path unravel as it's meant to, okay? Because there's a reminder that people change, situations change, and not everything is what it seems, even though you're very intuitive, okay? But the Star card coming out again for the month of November to clarify the World card. And I really do feel as if the month of November highlights how much, once again, your Leo world is developing, it's changing, completion is a must in certain ways, and you're evidence of just that. A colorful way about you, elevating, okay? A high vibration to be seen by everybody that that experiences you, just out and about, running errands, at work, running your business, socializing. I feel like it is a year where there's more socializing than 2022, but a different kind of socializing, right? You're not sort of settling for those who you once would have, okay? Just to have that comfort of connecting, but that's not for everybody. The Hierophant for December. Oh, but in the midst of highlighting how much your world's changing in November, it's a month where another wish comes to be, or Spirit reminds you that that lies ahead in the beginning of 2024, okay? You're being viewed aligning with the Queen of Wands. Remember, we spoke upon you being such an inspiration, an honest light of truth and power. Okay, beautiful. You're being reminded that people are viewing you as a star. Okay, heads are turning. People are seeing you once again as very, very attractive, and a vibe that they just want to know more about. But the mystery is still alive. The mystery is still alive, even if people gain knowledge about what you're capable of, okay, and who you're becoming. People at a distance are thinking about you, okay? Look at that. Just to reiterate what we've been saying, this is the ending of the year, okay? The month of December, where change is taking a highlight. You're being pushed to a review. You're being pushed to think about what else you want to adjust and develop as you finish up the year and step into the new year, okay? Allowing for oneself to remember that you have blossomed through this year in so many beautiful ways, as I get goosebumps. And I just feel like Spirit's saying, look at oneself in the mirror. Do a little bit of healthy, selective reviewing, and allow for oneself to pat yourself on the back and say, damn, Leo, I've done well, okay? I've done well, I've come far. Don't be surprised if you finish up the year and you get a little bit emotional, okay? Because I am right now, in regards to all you've been through, overcome. But the sun is shining for you, okay? Again, this is a year where evidently you're changing, you're growing, that continues in a beautiful way. You're becoming even more attractive as you age. And Spirit's saying, look at how your world as a whole is changing and how easily you're attracting who and what's meant for you, and letting go of what's not and who's not, okay? And allow for oneself to remember 2023 is life changing. All right. So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy your year, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Leo.